After a long discussion, they both discovered that both of the infants had already waken up just before nap time was over. Maribel and Emily each took a baby, a diaper, and a changing pad, and got to work. With the change in their diets, diapers were starting to less often be dirty, and more often be wet only. Though, they were also becoming less predictable because their tiny GI systems were not tolerant of all foods equally. Afterwards, Emily helped Maribel placing the two caddies a little bit apart, but turned slightly inward so that the little consultant could discuss with the tiny ones what she discussed with their mommy just a little while ago. Then, Ms. T excused herself while Maribel sat on the floor, cross-legged to talk to both of them. First of all, she began, "It has been wonderful seeing you two taking so well to your new bodies and your new dependencies. I really enjoyed the time with you two and am looking forward to our next visit. You have been patient and have allowed your surrogate mother to make all your decisions for you. She has told me that you have never complained or compared her methods with your own from your past life, unless it was to compliment her. Most regenerates I talk to want to try to be raised the way they think they should be raised. The adult inside us all can be arrogant and have a sense of entitlement which then interferes with a primary need we fail to remember we have as regenerates, our need for us to trust our caregivers. If you don't mind me interrupting, I just wanted to add that I feel more secure when I trust someone with better emotional maturity than me even if she is decades my junior, and I think Karen can vouch for that too, right, Karen?" said Ken. "I think so too," replied Karen. "A primary example is Mommy took it upon herself to cover the outlets around the house with safeties even though we would never dream of getting near them. The fact that they are covered gives me much more peace. It's hard to explain." "I think I know where you are going, and there is no need to explain," replied Maribel. "I too am like that. I feel secure when Mommy has rules, not just housework or things like that, but bedtimes, physical exercise times, and she even reminds me to sit up straight when I eat," pausing for giggles. She continued, "I've been a sloucher my whole life and used to do it deliberately to rebel against my original parents, but for some reason I prefer now to have her kind of micromanage me a little bit, if that's a good word. Anyway, back to what I wanted to say to you. Keep trusting your mommy, and your second childhood will be as good if not better than the first. Next, I have a recommended schedule for visiting a psychologist next week, who specializes in regenerates, and your mommy has punched in a couple of appointment requests already. Dr. Michelle Hilton. This is routine for every infant I consult that I recommend psychological examinations, so their chances of making it past the critical age are much better. Every month after that for at least a year, both of you will be seeing her, followed by seeing her about every 2 months after that, and more often if needed, and it can be verified that you are successfully past the most critical phase of your development. I will be doing another week of on-site residency when you are 6 months old, and then when you are about to start walking, you will be seeing me in Richmond for an all-day workshop. I have more workshops after that if your mommy is interested, or even if you yourselves are interested and you can convince your mommy. I even have one for helping with potter training. I had to tell you about that one because you both showed interest already, even though you are a long ways away. I will have another 1-week residency about 2 months after you start walking. You will also have periodic visits with me in my office in Richmond every few months, or more or less often as necessary, and with a social worker.